You know, as I sit back and prepare for Thanksgiving, the holidays upcoming, I can't help but wonder what Thanksgiving like at Nick Cannon's house. I mean, you have double digit children, multiple moms. What is that gathering like? I mean, is Nick Cannon doing a little bit too much? We'll get to that and more on this Talk to Q. Buckle up.
P2Q Radio.
Hey, what up, Q? What up, Radio World?
What's going on, people? I want to welcome all of you to another episode of Talk to Q. My name is Quincy, and this is my show. And today is Tuesday, November 22nd, 2022. This is episode number 1010, or should I say 1010? I think 1010 sounds cooler. We'll go with that. Be sure to hit that like button right now. Don't wait. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe and share. You can find me on social media by searching hashtag TalkToQ, or you can just go to talktoq.com. Tonight, we're discussing Nick Cannon and his parenting situation. And towards the end of the show, we'll get into our meme of the week. And what we won't be discussing tonight is Tay Brown. Okay. Let me go to the Talk to Q virtual phone lines to see who will be joining the mix this evening. And I'll go to the Magnolia State of Mississippi and welcome back this young lady. Tawana, what's going on?
Hey Q, what's
Doing
up?
all right today?
Pretty good. How are you?
I am outstanding. All right, I'm going to stay in the 601 and we'll bring up Net. Net, what it do?
It do. What's good? What's good?
Glad to have you back. It's been a minute.
I know.
All
Good to
right,
be
then I'm
back.
going to travel. Well, actually, I don't have to travel anywhere. We're still in the Magnolia State of Mississippi. And welcome this young lady, Mary. What's going on? And Mary cut her camera off. All right, Mary.
I
Mary,
got
what's
it up.
going on?
How you doing? Cute.
All right, all right. This might be your first video appearance on the show, I think. I think you were on once before, audio only. So, all right, good for everyone to finally see your face. And I got a show legend joining the mix, so let me give him his special introduction. From the 850 area code, the Emerald Coastline of Pensacola, Florida, making his way to the ring, the man in black, the Buckster. What's going on, Buck? What's happening, Buck? Can't hear you, man. All right, he's struggling with his mute button, but we'll get to him in just a moment.
What's going on? What's going on,
Oh,
everybody?
okay. There he is. There he is. All right, so we'll go ahead and get down to it. Again, thank you all for joining the mix. Now, I think Nick Cannon has had, 11 kids in 11 years? Now, forgive me for not knowing the exact number, but we know it's double digits. Now, he absolutely appears to love being a dad. However, that's a lot of love to spread around.
Yeah.
So let me start with you first, Ned. Can a person have too many kids?
Of course. I mean, let's look financially. I assume he has it. But the ability to really give all those children like an equal amount of your love, your time, you know, some are going to require more than others. Yes, there is a such thing as having too many kids. I have two. One more would have definitely been too many.
Mm. Mary, what do you think?
Nice. I definitely, like Ned said, you can't have too many kids. Like, of course, his financial situation, he can take care of the multiple kids, but at some point it is excessive, and I think he's hit that mark a little while ago.
Mm-mm. Tawana, you disagree, right?
Absolutely not. I think he took the term be fruitful and multiply. I think he took that and he ran with it, and he has not stopped running. It's definitely too many. I'm assuming that he can afford them, but it's absolutely too much.
I mean, but she's talking about being fruitful. My man is a whole apple orchard. I mean, how much fruit can one person have? What do you think, man? Can a person have too many kids?
No doubt. I mean, when you can't drive a Suburban and carry all your kids, you got too many. Um, he needs a school bus at this point. So,
Definitely.
I mean, you got 11 kids. By the time you put the baby mamas in there and everything else, you're gonna need a bus.
Yeah.
Right.
You might need Trailways or Greyhound or somebody. So,
Leap that.
it's I mean, we're not living in the days where we got most of us now are not don't have crops that we got that we
Exactly.
got to have a bunch of kids because back in the day, old days, people had kids so they could do stuff around the house, wash clothes, grow gardens, raise cattle and stuff like that, drive the tractors, whatever the case may be. But we're not living in those times anymore. So, 2 or 3 kids, that should be your limit, because it's in today's time, it's not as easy as everybody thinks it is when it comes to raising kids. So,
Right.
11 kids, I don't care how much money you're making, that's too much. You need to, you know, you need to get snipped some if you're gonna go out there busting them out like that. I mean, and it doesn't
Mhm.
look like
Yeah.
he has no intention of stopping. If he can have another one, I
No.
bet you he'll have another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. And I mean, it's like, no, he's not probably into farming, but if you think about it, he already has a wild and out team, 2 teams actually. So his kids can be his cast for wild and out in about 2 decades. So he doesn't have to hire any outside the family, to be honest with you.
But you know what, Hugh? Just listen to Buck. What I think Nick Cannon should do at this point, he should just buy a big compound, okay? Make all his baby mothers sister wives,
Mm.
all
Mm.
the kids and all the girl. What I don't even know what their titles are. I don't even think they're girlfriends. They're just like,
Partners.
yeah, or whatever.
And that's kind of what I was thinking about as well. Like when I was, just kind of seeing all of this, is like, it'd be different if this was happening, maybe he had 1 or 2 baby mothers. It's like, it's like 7. How many baby
I
mothers
think it's
is it?
5, I think.
Oh, it's 5. Are we
I
are
think
we
I
counting
think 5.
Mariah?
And no, 6.
Oh,
Okay. And so the thing is though, all of those are like you're creating all these broken home type situations.
Right.
And then like Tawana said, what is it like what is our role as far as our co-parenting? Are we just friends who happen to have had babies? Like what is even the situation between us as parents? So that
Right.
has the tendency to potentially get problematic.
Mhm.
And then of course you have the animosity that you kind of have to foresee these things between the kids. Oh, he likes such and such a kids better than he likes us over here, or I'm the only kid by my mama, but this one over here, they got brothers and sisters, and like they get more of his time, they get more of his attention. Just I don't know. It's so many other ways this can be problematic other than just, oh, he out here trying to build the whole nation of Islam on his own,
Hey, I got an
Uh,
idea. He can buy Neverland Ranch. It's available. It's for
You
sale.
know what?
you know what? Will it be big enough?
Oh,
And
It
I
may.
got a comment
I don't know.
from Dope Discussions in Louisiana, and I'm not aware of this. She says, from what I hear, he has a health condition, which means he may
Mhm.
not be around to see all of them grow up, and I think that's irresponsible to the kids.
He has
Oh
lupus
That's true.
wow!
for sure. I know
Yeah, he's
that. I
got
don't know if
lupus.
he had
Yeah.
anything else, but he definitely has lupus. And yeah, that's
Yep.
another issue. Thing about autoimmune diseases is they're typically hereditary. Like they can be, I'm not going to say, it's definitive that your children will have lupus, but that can kind of open them up to other autoimmune issues as well. you know So it's just a lot of like, what is his point? What is his end game? That's
Yeah.
really what I want to know. When you introduced this topic, I was like, okay, it got me thinking, what is Nick Cannon's end game? What's
Right.
the end game? You could have adopted some kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think what he's doing is very selfish. Cause like I could hear Q say like at the top of the program, like, what you gonna do for the holidays? First of all, I think he gonna have to make sure all the baby mamas get along, because you're gonna have to get everybody flued out to one location to try to get all your kids together. Because you can't go to one person's house, because like Ned said, then it's gonna be like, oh, so she must be the favorite. Why we gotta have it at her house? Why we gotta do that? Why, so then you get into mixed feelings and things like that. So you gotta have a, like you said, a compound where everybody just come and
Yeah.
all mingle together and all. But it seemed like his baby mamas at this point have an understanding, because
Yeah.
he actually has a 12th child on the way. And so he's about it. What he does, I don't know if y'all saw that little tree that I saw it on Twitter floating around like a couple weeks ago, where he like rotates the baby mamas. Like, I'm gonna have one with you, then you, then you, then you, then you, then. He's like, that's how he goes. Like, he just go. Except
It's a
Mariah,
cult.
she
It's a
took us
cult.
out. Like, she got her and she dipped. She said, not me. But the other ones, they good. They okay with this rotation. Because if you look at the numbers, it's like 9 and 13, 7, 9, and or 7, 8, and blah blah. It's like, it's weird. It's very weird.
It's a cult.
Wow, I can't believe that Mariah would be on
Long.
that, but I don't know. But so you hear people say often that, well, it doesn't matter because he can afford them. I mean, we've heard people say that about multiple celebrities. It doesn't matter how many kids he has as long as he sends that paycheck every week. And is that true? Doesn't matter how many kids you have if you can afford them? This
It
for whoever wants to respond first.
I do not agree with that. Because kids need more than your finances. They need your time. So being that a lot of his kids are around the same age, what happens when they start going to ballet or playing sports? You can't be in multiple places at one time. You
Right.
can shoot all around, but you can't be everywhere at one time. You can't be at all the ballets, all the football games, all the basketball games. And I'm just thinking about, long term. But it's no. They need more than his money.
You
Right.
know what he needs to do is just make sure that all the kids play on the same basketball team,
He has enough for
and then
that.
the other ones can be the
Right.
cheerleaders, so that way everybody can be in the gym.
You got that right.
So
But they kind of all over the country though. It's not
Right.
like all in Atlanta.
that might be another
He spread
problem.
deep and wide. They just everywhere.
Right.
Mm. I mean, Ned, what do you think? I mean, you got the money? Does that really kind of nullify a lot of the problems because you can afford for the kids to be well taken care of?
Is
Ned,
that
can you hear
Peter?
me?
I'm just realizing I'm not popping up. I'm sorry, I got distracted. Uh, yeah, no, it does not. Yeah, like I said earlier, it's just too many things that you have to consider with raising kids, and it just doesn't seem like it's been taken into consideration at all. You know, just even the thought of, what if you have a child who develops something like autism? That requires more attention than the average child. Stressing out the mom now. How he going to be able to be there for that child and still be there for all these other children that's scattered, smothered, and covered? No, the money is not the most important element of
Wait a
being able
minute.
to do this.
You made it sound like Waffle House hash browns.
Hey, hey, he's serving them up.
That he is.
He's serving them up.
Buck, Mary, either of you
Scrambling
disagree?
eggs.
I mean, can the money make all the difference in the world?
No,
It
it
cannot.
cannot. I mean,
Go ahead, whoever.
which one did you say?
Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
I mean, it's not. You got to be able. You have to be able to. Quality time means a lot to kids, and if you don't have the time to spend with them, I mean, the way the world is right now, parents having to work 10, 12-hour days just to make ends meet. By the time you get home, it's time to, do homework if the kids hadn't already done it, eat dinner. And by the time you slow down, you barely have enough time. It's 9 o'clock. They got to go to bed and get ready for school, so they can be ready for school tomorrow. You barely have enough time to ask them how their day was, because most people now don't even sit at the dinner table and eat together. They eat all over the house.
Right.
So, the thing is, in order to, kids they look to you as a role model. They look to both parents as a role model. And if you got 11 of these rascals, and then if they spread out all over the country, how in the hell are you going to give time to the kids when one may want to learn how to, let's say they got a 4-H deal, and maybe they want to learn how to cook, and the 4-H does teach cooking. So you need to spend that time with the kid to show him how to season the meat or whatever he decides he wants to cook. Or maybe you have a science project that needs to be done. Maybe one is in a band and want to learn how to play an instrument or things of that nature. All of those things are important. And if you're just one man, but the kids are spread out all over the place, and they can't, they need that father figure to be there for them, and they need that hands-on experience because that's what they're looking for. And you're not there because you're in California, the other one's in Atlanta, one's in Salt Lake City, Utah, wherever all these kids are. I don't know where they all are. But all I'm saying is bottom line of it is they're not getting what they need from their father. They need both parents. They don't need just one.
But if you have money, isn't that what a nanny is for? Or if you want a male
Nanny,
role model, a manny?
No,
Nanny.
replace the parent though, and that's what like the nanny doesn't replace the parent. That's why you need, like everyone said, you need more than money to be a parent. Like you have to be there to support that child mentally, emotionally, and let them know that you're actually there for them physically. Like I think, like Net said at the earlier point, like there will be a time where there'll be an overlapping of events. And if you go to one child event and not the other one, they might say, oh, well, you might like that child. You must like this more than you like me because you hadn't come to my event. You know what I'm saying? So you get, like I said, a lot of emotions involved. And that's why you need more than money, because money doesn't replace you being there for stuff like that.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I'd like to kind of add too, and Q, forgive me, I know you have an agenda typically when you do your show, but just thinking about, the resentment that eventually the moms start to feel, and then potentially taking that out on the children. You always see these women get on social media who, I guess they were kind of using their child as a check or a lick or whatever, but now you're bashing the baby father who's famous because he doesn't do anything for the baby. But you do get money, but they don't do anything. And now this becomes a whole big social media spectacle, and instead of dealing with it in private, you want to play it out. And of course, the mom's resentment also becomes the child's resentment. Very few instances are there where if a mom has a problem with the dad, that child doesn't tend to take one parent's side or the other. So, it's just so many different ramifications from what he's doing, and it's like I said, what is his end game? What are you trying to do? And after a while, he should definitely stop before his kids end up potentially involving themselves, as they get older, especially if they didn't necessarily grow up like really knowing like, hey, that's my brother, that's my sister, because it can happen if a mom decides that she doesn't want to deal with the father anymore, therefore we're not even dealing with any of his kids, and here it is, we happen to go to the same school at some point, and we run into each other, we like each other. I've actually seen those weird stories where couples find out some years after dating that they were actually brother and sister, but because they on their father's side, they didn't know each other.
Okay. All right. And you must have took a sneak peek at my agenda, because that was my next question. But really quick, let me go to the comments. And Dope Discussion said one of his children recently passed away. with one of the
Mhm.
mothers while he was celebrating the birth of another baby. How
Mhm.
can one man be in both places at the same time? Just a bunch of confusion.
That's right.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Mm,
Okay.
that's right.
So,
That he
so
felt
the
about that.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was saying, that, yeah, I remember he made a comment. He was on something. He made a comment about, I'm celebrating the birth of one child, but I just lost another. So he's with, he couldn't be with both women. One is celebrating, one is
Mm,
it's
yeah, and you can't
tough.
hire a nanny for that
You
at
cannot.
all. That's sad. And so, I mean, let's talk about what Nick discussed. I mean, is it hard to keep multiple moms happy for 18 plus years? I mean, how in the world? And I mean, that's assuming he stops. Right now he doesn't include any additional moms, but is it possible that they can really like each other and get along and coexist for 18 years?
Mm, mm.
Is it possible? Maybe. Is it likely? No.
Will
But
definitely take a lot of work from all parties.
exactly. That'll take some. I don't know what type of thing Will Jada and his ex got, but y'all gotta be on some of that type of chemistry to make it last for the 18 plus years. Like, because realistically, like I said, I don't understand how they even do it now. Like my feelings would I wouldn't like none of the other ones. Like I'm supposed to be the
Well,
favorite one.
I mean,
Yeah,
so
Mary, you could not get yourself involved in that. No, you don't do it, sis.
All the time.
all right, so like as far as the mother of his children, of course, there's Mariah Carey. He was married to her for like 9 years, and they have twins. Okay, and I'm trying to keep up with the names. It's Monroe and Moroccan. And then
Mhm.
there's Brittany Bale, who was his girlfriend. She's the mother of Golden, Powerful, and Roz. Okay. And then
Mhm.
there's Abby De La Rosa. She's the mother of twins that was born last year. And I think she just had the last child last week. And then there's Alyssa Scott, who was a model on his Wild and Out show. And they gave birth to Zen in 2021, which was his fourth child in less than 12 months. And she's the one that I think is pregnant now. She announced in October that she's pregnant.
Yeah.
And there's Bree, who's a model, and she gave birth to number 8, Legendary, back in July of this year. And Lanisha, who's a model, who welcomed his ninth child, Onyx, in September of this year. My man had a busy year. You
My
think he's
uterus
working
hurts.
hard on TV, but man,
That that is
he-
Mhm.
hard. Yeah.
but
That's why I said just hearing all that, my uterus hurts.
He, he takes really good vitamins. He had that sperm count up. Like, goodness.
mm. Let me go back to the
Mhm.
Talk to Q virtual phone lines to get another show legend in the mix.
What up, Radio
From
World?
the 601 area code in the Magnolia State of Mississippi, please welcome on the original show legend, the Minister of Sexual Affairs, Eminem. What's shaking, man?
Hey, what up, Q? What up, Radio World?
Hey.
Eminem, what's happening? What's happening?
Oh
So-
man, in studio, man, in studio, bro.
Oh, okay. I know you're putting in that work before the
Oh yeah,
art
yeah.
show. And so I mean, Eminem, as a man, can a man, even though he's filthy rich, keep multiple baby mamas happy for 18 years? He has 6 baby moms.
I mean, okay, I'm gonna answer the question twice, but now specifically, nah, you can't keep one baby mama happy. You know what I'm saying? On top of 6. But now if we talking about, taking care of the kids or something like that. Oh yeah, there's nothing to it. I mean, especially if they're not in the house. I mean, you got it easy. It's only a headache if they're around you all the time. But you just dropping money. I mean, that ain't too complicated. I mean, I don't want to just simplify it like that. Like nothing else matter. But I mean, just to be specific, if we talking about, can he make sure? Because we see this in the hood all the time. I mean, it's nothing for a guy that got multiple kids, multiple baby mamas. As a matter of fact, that's a lot of time what the chicks go for. So, I mean, that's really the norm. The only difference between the hood and somebody famous is in the hood, the kid gonna reflect the mom. So it's just like if everybody broke, and if the mom, one baby mama got a pretty good job, but that kid gonna tend to dress better than the other, siblings. But if if the dad just like, okay, well shit, here go my card, and you just tell the cat at the Foot Locker, say, look, when this chick come up, give them what she wants. Just so it's like all your kids. I mean, if it's just material, no problem. Here's where the problem come in at. The problem come in at when one or more than one baby mama just kind of get in their head that whatever agreement you had is no longer there. So now it's gonna get complicated because the kids ain't gonna understand how you can be around. I just say hypothetically, Mariah's set of kids. They'll kind of think that might be your favorite, but she might be like, shit, motherfucker, I'm rich too. I mean, when I need a break, I just get my maid. So I mean, I ain't tripping on you like that. But the mother chicks, I don't know, so it all depends. But honestly, like I say, if Cat was dealing with I ain't saying this negatively toward foreigners, but if they was, if he had a chick from a foreign country where this was a custom or something, it'll be a lot easier to pull off. But in America, it happens all the time. But but to answer that question, happy, like we talking about taken care of or happy, it's two different things. So, I mean,
I got you.
Yeah, Shawty Low was doing the same thing, but the only thing about Shawty Low, what I'm saying, most of his chicks was from the projects and stuff, so they didn't really know what money was. So they just, hey, nigga, you can get my hair braided every 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and keep my nails did. Oh, that wasn't shit, So so they were happy. But now Nick Case, I don't know, because he can't throw money in Mariah if she was on that tripping like that. So I'm just saying, you don't know how that shit gonna go.
All right. Dope discussion says dropping money off is the bare minimum of being a father.
Right.
And so, all right. So, I mean, while we're on the topic of money, now Nick Cannon, from different sources, they say he's worth about $20 million. All right, about 20 million. Now he says he pays $3 million a year and child support every year, but I mean, I'm sure that's give or take a few $100,000. I don't know. But will Nick Cannon's money run out before the kids reach 18? I mean, that's a lot of Wild and Out and Masked Singers. He got to hope the Masked Singer runs for next couple of decades.
Yeah, I don't know. He seems to be well invested. He has a lot of different things going on. It doesn't seem like he has all of his money in one pot. But of course, we don't know what he has, what's in his bank account. But he's doing several things at one time. So I would hope that he is invested and saving. So I don't know. But $3 million in child support? My gosh.
Yeah, he got it though, apparently. But I agree. I don't think he'll run out. I think he has been smart enough thus far, because Nick has been around so long, like
since the 90s.
A long time in the entertainment industry, period. So I think as far as for me, the way he bagged Mariah, maybe he got a little more than we know. Mariah let him slide. So I think he all right. I think he could take it, and I think that's why he does it, because he know he's got this illness, but he know he's also financially capable of doing it. So I think he got it. The money might be a little long.
Yeah, but also, I mean, he's 42 years old. So I mean, I guess he still has some good prime TV years left before they probably want to go younger and push him out in certain instances. But he does do his own thing, because doesn't he now have ownership of the whole Wild and Out thing?
Yeah, I think so.
At one time it was a struggle, but I think he has ownership of it. But I mean, anybody else think that Nick Cannon is going to run out of money?
Yeah, well, he almost did.
I don't know if he'll run out or not, because he's got a TV show too on Bounce. Like a little talk show. Yeah. He's got that too. So he looks like he always diversifies. He changes. you know, like when he was on Nickelodeon or whatever, you know, he was doing all the little kid stuff. Then he came out with, you know, then he started doing movies. He's been in several movies. Um, he appears on a lot of. He was down here in Mobile a few weeks ago with the Breakfast Club, doing some stuff with them. You know, now he's got the little talk show. I mean, he's always revolving. He's almost like a broke version of Steve Harvey almost.
Yeah.
Or hardest man, working man in show business, just younger. You know, so he's always evolving with his, with the things that he does. You know, he stayed relevant, and as long as he stayed relevant with them 877 kids he got, he should be all right.
But the only reason I went to say he almost ran out was because, and I agree. I mean, all of y'all, right on the money with, the way he's diversifying and lucrative, doing different things. Obviously, some of them pretty lucrative. But I don't know if y'all remember about maybe about 3, might have been more than 2 years ago. Stuff happened so fast now I can't keep up with it. But he was accused of being anti-Semitic, and they was getting ready to cancel all this shit.
Yeah.
And so I'm saying, so long as regular life shit don't affect him, he'll be good. But I mean, if the wrong people start suing him and blackball him and all that, I mean, shit, man, this motherfucker be picking up cans like everybody else.
That's a good point, because all it takes is somebody going back and finding a tweet from 2012, and it can really derail your career a little bit. So
yeah, because they was after him and Deshaun Jackson about the same time. So if that jars a memory, all that, more recently it was Kyrie and Kanye, but in the past it was Deshaun Jackson and Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
Well,
Y'all look it up. Yeah, I mean, he got tight on Nick for real. Like he had to apologize and suck balls and all this shit just to get his stuff back going.
I will say this though, if that happens, his rap career will not bail him out. I can assure you that.
Oh,
Probably not.
Had a couple of songs too. Don't let us sleep on Nick rapping. He had a couple songs. He did a couple mixtapes. So
it's gonna be a Drumline 16, Drumline 17. You're gonna have to crank out a bunch of them sequels. One for every kid. So, all right. So last question on Nick, and this is for the ladies. Ladies, would you have a kid with Nick Cannon if he asked?
Nah, I'm good.
I mean, you'll be set for life financially, right?
We literally just talked about this man potentially losing his money and having to suck balls and pick up cans. Hell no. No.
Suck ball and pick up cans. Well, I would die over here. We said that.
No, sir.
right.
And then it's too mixy. That's a little too mixy. You got me all in the mix with all these other chicks, man. No.
Said the other night, get somebody else to do it.
Right. Right.
Get somebody else to do it.
Right.
No.
I mean, so the potential of getting a piece of that $3 million a year annually, that's just not gonna work for you. Huh?
Not to raise a whole nother person, no.
Oh, by myself, who signs up for that? Other than them weirdos that he finding, like
right. I said there must be some Hollywood stuff for real.
Yeah.
Dope discussions not with it either.
Yeah.
So,
No.
I mean, but I guess if you had to get pregnant, I mean, you could do worse than Nick Cannon, I guess.
Yeah, you're right. You could, but like Mary said, who has to get pregnant?
Yeah.
Who has to get pregnant?
Who is?
Oh boy.
That made me think
Mom
about.
died over here.
That made me think about earlier. I saw is it Erica Mena? Is that her last name?
Yeah.
I was scrolling the Shade Room. Yes, shameless plug. But anyway, she was talking about how Safari made her a single mother twice.
She made herself a single mother. But go ahead.
Erica, shut up.
Look, I don't know the whole situation with them, but she was just saying how she's a single mother, how hard it is on her, and she gets plenty of child support. So no,
Erica, shut up. You get $4,000 a month for 2 kids. Ma'am, go work and sit down.
$4,000 a month. How is she going to feed her children on $48,000 a year?
How dare
Even still, like,
And oh
okay,
my God, it's untaxed. Oh wow, man.
how dare
look, and look, even still though, it's like, okay, y'all did all that for what? To have a storyline? Like, come on, no, you didn't have to have 2 babies. He was a goofball after 1.
what
You
the
didn't have to have the second.
Okay, we'll get off in another topic. I'll ask another question. But yeah, she was just saying she was a single mother. So that just made me think about, are they considered single mothers since he's not like there?
Single-ish. I don't know what you
You
call
know?
it.
And then that was another question I was thinking about. Like, okay, so what if like one of the mothers wanted to have a romantic relationship with someone else? Like, is there some kind of a contract that prohibits them from doing that? You
That's what
know, how you gonna feel if I bring somebody else around your kids, Nick? You know,
He need to be on the next podcast.
I mean, these are legitimate questions. These are legitimate questions, and I don't know, like you said, what his end game is, and maybe one day we'll all find out.
Yeah.
You know,
But I know what the reason is.
well, please enlighten us.
Okay, then get ready for the mic to drop. All right. Now, he ain't the only one, but he just kind of, did something extreme. But everybody, well, I ain't gonna say everybody, but a whole lot of people that was on Nickelodeon and all that kind of stuff when they was early in their career, especially if they were born in the hood or a regular neighborhood, that stigma of that peer pressure of you kind of gotta straddle the fence, you kind of gotta, prove that I don't know. I'm not justifying, but I'm just saying, if you notice, whether it's a female or a male, if it's a male, usually they try to do something that you more likely gonna see in the hood. It's either they beefing with somebody, kind of like how Drake had a little thing going a couple times. You know what I'm saying? It's just like they can't shake the stigma of just being not a child star now. There's nothing wrong, but most child stars don't have no problem. But it's the ones that's kind of be on these lovable, kiddie-ish, semi-comedy type child shows. A lot of them have seem like they got issues.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if it's.
I don't disagree with that.
Right.
I don't know if it's an issue or not for a man to want a big family. But
No, I don't mean it
way
like that. But I'm just saying, but okay, like Nick Cannon, I'm not 100%, but I think he grew up in Compton or somewhere like that. But what I'm saying is like a dude having multiple baby moms, and this is something you mostly, okay, all right. We usually don't associate that with
Hollywood is what
exactly. We usually don't associate multiple baby mamas with regular successful people. That's usually like the neighborhood dope boy or the dude that was
in the NBA.
He was once in the NBA. Now he's on above the rim playing basketball against himself and shit. I'm just saying. So it's just like, that association is normally not associated with people with money. You know what I'm saying?
I got
so instead of him beefing and fighting every night, he just went that route with it. Which is I kind of think what happened. It's kind of like it's different ways to get street cred. You can the norm now, unfortunately, is shooting somebody or something or getting shot. But if you don't want to go that way, then you got to have a lot of.
It sounds like he's shooting up the club to me.
Well, yeah, he's shooting up something.
Multiple.
Yeah, so I think that's the as far as somebody say what's the end game, I think that's what it is.
Well,
I think the end game was like we are no longer associating him with something lovable and all that. I mean, now this dude, whatever he does now, the dude with all the kids, so he's shaking the
lovable image.
You're right, and then what's the other thing he had? He had some nice little shows over the years, but I'm just saying so he's achieved that. I mean, he's fully achieved that. Like nobody is looking at him that kind of way no more. I mean, not that it should have been a
That's
problem,
interesting.
but I'm
Yeah,
just saying,
he's not drumline Nick
Well,
anymore.
Well,
Yeah.
a part of me, let me offer a different perspective. Like I've been noticing, so seemingly, he's been calling himself getting into his studies of self and, some kind of a enlightenment trajectory for him, because I'm not sure where it's leading him to, but I can't help but feel like some of this seems like it's related to that. Like once he kind of started coming out as Turban Nick, all of a sudden it was just like, and let me go ahead and start spreading my seed. And that's what I'm saying when I'm thinking like, what is his end game? It's just like, okay, how does this relate to whatever this journey is that you're saying you're taking? How does all of this connect? What is it that you're thinking you're accomplishing as far as, this helping you meet your goal?
I don't know, but I know I always heard that Dennis Rodman's dad had like 41 kids, so he's a long way from the record.
Oh yeah.
And Dope Discussion says he ain't no Idris Elba. She said, now I'd untie my own tubes for that man.
Yeah.
She'll untie her own
Okay.
Too.
All
Good
right.
Lord.
Well, look, let's get into our meme of the week and we'll get ready to wrap this thing up. So let's see. Meme of the week. This lady said, just broke up with my boyfriend of 3 years because he told me he's getting full custody of his 3 kids. I can't imagine coming home to 3 kids that's not mine every day. All right. So she breaks up with her boyfriend after 3 years because he's getting custody of his kids and she don't want to come home to that. So let me start with Mary on this first. Fair or foul, Mary?
I ain't gonna judge nobody for their boundaries. If that's what you feel, sis, go home. But me personally, I can't knock nobody for that. So I'm gonna say foul, but power to you, sis. Like, do your thing.
Net, we talking 3 years here. I mean, fair or foul for her to walk on out to life.
She said it was her boyfriend of 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Not her husband, her boyfriend. We not locked in like that. No, sir. And we already know how people, especially men, love to adhere to the gender role. So 9 times out of 10, she gonna become them kids' mother, like for real, probably more than he's gonna be their father. Very much fair.
Okay. Tawana, what do you say? What do you say?
Yeah.
Fair or foul?
I was definitely going to go along the same wave as Net, so to speak, but only because, I kind of need more information. Like, did they have this discussion? Did she know he had kids? Was it always a possibility that the kids were going to come? Hell, do she have any kids? So I have a few questions, but I understand why she would want to walk away, even after 3 years. Because she would definitely be their mother, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It would be hard to walk away. I'm just speaking for myself. I don't know me though. Yeah, I take in kids all the time. But
well, Nick has 11 of them. If you need to practice,
I gotta do 11, but I happen to have taken in, a few kids over.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have questions though. So I'm kind of on the fence, to be honest.
All right, those are good questions. So, Eminem, from a guy's perspective, man, how do you feel about her walking out of his life after 3 years because he has custody of his kids?
Oh, I mean, I think she's 100% wrong, and this is why. I mean, number one, shit. Truth be told, she probably already got some kids herself. But just say if she didn't, if you meet somebody, you can't just assume because they got kids that they either gonna be just like, well, I ain't really fuck with no kids. I'm just dropping money, or I just got them sparingly. I mean, you have to have it in your head. And I understand the point about it, just a girlfriend, not man. But I'm saying, but of 3 years, obviously, for this dude to get custody, it had to be, he had to be involved in their life. And then how selfish of her to want to do this, knowing that, I'm just gonna call a spade, the odds are more often than not that two people rarely gonna be totally raised by just they biological parents. So either both of them, one of them, or somebody. I mean, if it wasn't them, they know somebody. So a blended family and all that. I mean, it shouldn't be just cool when it's the woman with the damn kids. Think about all the aunties and shit she got with the dude over there. He been staying with her auntie. Shit, he been fucking with her kids the whole time. But now this dude get custody of his kids, like he's supposed to say, well, nah, man, y'all my kids, but man, my girlfriend don't want y'all over here. Y'all got to go. What? I mean, if I was her, I'm saying like, well, damn, if it don't work out with us, is he gonna turn my kids away if she was the mom? So I think the woman in this case is 100% wrong. That don't mean she have to like it. It don't mean, but it's like if you really don't want to deal with no kids, you shouldn't. Before it got serious, it should have right. Before it got serious, when this dude said, "Hey, by the way, I got kids," I mean, just to assume that you never gonna have to see them kids, or he never gonna have to see them, they're like, nah.
Yeah.
That should have been a deal breaker if she was that adamant about it.
Okay. Yeah, some people are only a tragedy away from custody. But what do you think, man? Do you think that it's fair or foul for her to walk out of this guy's life because he wants to be a father to his children?
I think it's foul because, anytime it's supposed to be a package deal when you get in a relationship. I mean, in most cases in today's time, you're going to run into somebody that's got kids. So he doesn't have custody of them now. What if something happened to the mother and she died? And now he has custody of the children. I don't know what the situation is in this particular instance, but I'm just using this as an example. And he's always been involved with the kid's life. And now that she has passed, he has custody of the children. And she walks out of the life. I mean, that's just not right. It's a package deal when you meet somebody that has children. And, it should be that way because, I mean, you don't want to just be dating somebody and they got a kid and never spend any time with that child or something, even though it's not yours. If anything, you should be able to, it's supposed to be, like I said, a package deal. You know what's going on. So for her to just walk out, it's just, to me, it's just a bad deal all the way around. Regardless to who the kids belong to, kids need role models. They need two parents, whether it be a step parent or parent. They need that guidance. And she knew that the man had 3 kids to begin with. He got custody of them. It should be common ground or something that you discuss in the beginning of the relationship.
Right.
Yeah, I was definitely going to suggest that. This is just another thing people need to talk about. Important question to ask. And let's see, Dope Discussion says, I understand it, but I don't agree with it. She said, if he got custody, then that means he was probably really involved in their life before. So she knew about the kids beforehand. And that's what I was thinking. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of like Tawana. I don't have all the answers. I definitely got a lot of questions.
Right.
If he was this involved with the children, it seemed like you would have a relationship with the children as well if you've been dating them for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the kids should be very comfortable around you and you around them. And if you avoided them for 3 years, then that's a red flag on his part that she wasn't the one anyway. So I've heard people, who date before say that, oh, well, I know I got 2 kids, but you ain't got to deal with them or something like that. Well, if I ain't got to deal with them, then what's the point of dealing with you? Because if we, fool around and get married or something, all of a sudden I do have to deal with them. So I think if you don't intend to introduce someone to see if they're comfortable with your children, then what's the point of even being with them? I mean, you can't have nothing serious with them anyway, in my opinion.
Well, first, can I interject just a smidge here? There was a lot of assumption made off of a meme that it was very, very light on the details.
Yep.
However, at the bottom line, and of course, you know, again, it's just my opinion, not trying to change anybody else's mind, but it just always makes me think about how we raise girls to be a particular way, and then we act like for men certain things are just, you know, it's acceptable. It is completely okay for a young woman, old woman, whatever, to decide at some point that whatever is going on in this relationship is not for me and I'm going to leave, whether it's been 3 years or 5 years. We don't know the involvement level of, you know, them as a couple with his kids. Hell, we don't even know if these is babies he had on her, you know. But the point is, as anybody, whatever your deal breakers are, whatever your boundaries are, when somebody hits that, crosses the line, whatever the situation might be, it's all fair. You know, like, and I'll give you an example. When I was younger, I used to smoke real heavy, real heavy, you know, not cigarettes. And I had a friend, she'd get in my car all the time and we puff. She got a car. I light up thinking like, oh yeah, we finna christen this baby. She was like, oh no, you're not about to smoke in here. I was flabbergasted. What do you mean? Just because you allowed it.
Flabbergasted. I don't know if I've ever been flabbergasted.
I was. The bitch was stunned. Look, because, but she said something to me that was like, wow. She was like, just because you allow that in your car and I partake in it with you in your car doesn't mean that I allow it in my car. I mean, it was like, damn. You know, before I even heard the word boundaries in relationships, baby girl set a boundary for me and I had to respect it, you know. And if I wanted to disrespect her boundary, if I crossed it, then hey, you can't ride in my car. And that's the situation. As far as I'm concerned, whatever the thing is going on, we have to start letting women know that it is okay that when something is not sitting right with you, don't stay in a relationship. He finna bring home 3 kids. You ever took care of 3 kids? He finna bring home 3 kids. For her to take her, we were part-time parents for 3 years, maybe 3 years. Like I said, these could be babies he brought home to her, like it during the midst of their relationship. Now I got to be a mother to your outside kids on a permanent basis. No, that's a boundary.
Yeah,
and it's fair for her to walk
dudes have to fall in that trap all the time. She was probably raised by a stepdad. Her mom probably had, you know, kids all in middle school and everything. I'm just saying.
We don't know.
I'm saying we don't know, but you can't give a kid
about how men do it all the time. We're not talking about who all does what all the time. We saying for this particular woman, she decided that a man bringing 3 kids home to her was not going to be acceptable.
So let me ask you this. So can it be fair and foul? Like, can it be fair? Because it's definitely like Dope Discussion said she understands, but she doesn't agree. It's definitely her right to make that decision to bail for whatever reason. It's definitely her right. But can people look at it as being a little foul that, you know, this wasn't handled sooner or, you know, something like that? I mean, because if you know someone has 3 kids, there's always a possibility. So.
And that's what I'm saying. We're taking a lot of assumption into play. The only thing I can do is based off of what the actual meme said. No more, no less. Sound fair to me.
And that's why I said at the beginning, like I do where Shawty had her boundary of saying this is where I'm gonna step out, because like we all have said, it's really not enough information for us to say whether it was completely fair, completely foul. Like I do think it's both, because like we said, like if that's your boundary and that's where you say I'm out of here, then you gotta be out. But personally to me, and like Tawana was saying, if I knew about the kids beforehand, or if this is something we talked about beforehand, then okay, then let's talk about it and let's move accordingly. But say for instance, all the me and these kids have had a rift over the years because of their baby mama, or if they don't like me because of something that she has said, and now I gotta take care of them, and so now they in my household and they giving me attitude, and I gotta deal with that when I'm not even like Ness said, I'm not even a wife yet. I'm doing this and I'm your girlfriend. So enough information to say whether it's completely fair, completely foul. Like I said, personally, I probably wouldn't step off for that. But you know, I don't know how all the information, but I give folks a little too much grace sometimes. But if Shawty say where she want to leave, like I said, I'm for it. Like I help her pack if she ready to go. But
Right.
tell her she wrong. You know what
All
I'm
right.
saying? I cut out wrong.
I'm with that. I'm with that. Y'all make some very nice angles on this, good perspectives. So, all right. Well, look, let's go ahead and get ready to wrap things up and get into final thoughts. If you have any final thoughts about the whole Nick Cannon thing, then you can just give a brief summary of it or something like that. But let's see. And Tawana, I'll start with you first. Your final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I'm just glad to be here. Thank you for the invitation. Have to do it again.
All right. Short, sweet, and complete.
That's it.
Well, thank you for being here. Always a pleasure to have you on.
Absolutely.
All right. And Net, final thoughts?
Oh, well, the conversation was enjoyable. I usually don't discuss how people popping their coochies or their penises or whatever, but more power to Nick and his family. I really do wish them all the best, and hopefully everything works out. And it's been enjoyable talking to you all here tonight.
All right. Appreciate you being here. Mary, final thoughts?
Yeah, like Ned said, love, peace and love, and healing energy, all of that to Nick, all the good vibes. I just wish he could slow down. I do wish he'd go back to counseling. I saw he said he had stopped going. Please seek help. But yeah, I really enjoyed this tonight with the panel discussion, especially from the men's perspective, because I don't know if your listeners know, but me, Tawana, and Ned have a podcast where the three of us talk and discuss topics and things like that. And we don't really have a guy's perspective, and we hadn't had one in a while. So it was nice to have, some guys' perspective on things. So hopefully we could be back or have one of y'all on our podcast. Tune in for the Ladies Night podcast. But yeah, so it's been really fun. I've appreciated being here. Thanks for inviting me.
All right, cool. Let everybody know where they can find you, your podcast.
Right now it's on Spotify and Anchor. We're gonna get it back on Apple and Google Podcasts very soon. They've changed some things since we've left the game. We gotta get our accounts back up. So be on the lookout. We are on social media, Latest Night Pod _.
Yeah.
You can follow, and we'll be posting, as we get back on the platforms. But right now, only on Spotify and Anchor.
All right. Glad to have you all on, and it's glad you all are back in the podcasting game. I was telling Tawana recently, I was just chilling, and all of a sudden, in my little podcast app on my phone, Ladies Night popped up. I said, "Is this something old? What happened? Did it refresh?" And I saw it was something new, and so I checked it out and listened to you all laugh through the whole thing. You all are funny to me.
Thank you.
All right, Buck, final thoughts, man.
Well, I mean, I guess Nick Cannon is doing what he needs to do to raise all his kids to a certain degree. However, I mean, he really needs to start thinking about how many of these routes he's putting out there. Because right now he got enough for about 2 or 3 basketball. Well, he's got enough for a basketball team. He almost got enough for a full football team. And, he definitely going to need a bus to carry the kids and the baby mamas. So at some point you got to know, know when to say when, as they say. But, right now it looks like he got, he's taking care of everything. But at 42 years old, you really got to start that, you don't want to be going to PTA meetings in your 50s and 60s. So you just got to think about that. Now it'd be different if you got 1 or 2 kids. It'd be different, like that, or like you got 1 kid and then another one you adopt or something like that. That's different. But 11 kids is that's a lot in today's time.
A lot of open houses.
Too many of them. So, and from what, we were talking earlier, most of these kids are just being born in the last few months. So you're going to be going to a lot of meetings or, so at some point you got to think about what you're doing, from a standpoint of, how these kids are going to get raised and things of that nature. So, I mean, it's good to spread the seed and all that kind of good stuff, his relevance is going to be, they're going to be talking about that for many years to come. But I mean, we can talk about some other actors that's done the same thing. I mean, Clint Eastwood got a youngster, and that joker 90-some years old. So, I mean,
That ain't his kid.
yeah.
I'm sorry. Go
So,
ahead.
so bottom line of it is, you got to think about what you're doing. But in any event, great show, great discussion, great to have everybody's input, and everybody enjoy your Thanksgiving.
Same to
All
you.
right. All right. And Eminem, I'm gonna brace myself. Shut it down, man.
I'm gonna take it easy tonight, man. But great show, great show. Great to have these folks on here and stuff, and you know what I'm saying, sharing knowledge and acquiring knowledge and getting knowledge. You know what I'm saying, and you know, like I say, you know, I kind of was abreast of like Nick, you know, having the kids or whatever, but you know, I didn't know he had the amount he did. But like I say, you know, I think a lot of that is kind of for the aforementioned with, you know what I'm saying, just being scarred from Nickelodeon. And cause see, like now he go in the hood, you know, he got a pass for real. I mean, he gonna get all kind of love at the liquor store and all kind of love, you know, stand in line. He go back to his old hood and everybody in line about him Black and Miles and shit singles, and you know what I'm saying, with your 24 ounce beer. You know what I'm saying? He getting pat on the back now, like, man, you bad, man, you gone, nigga. But only thing about that, you know, is just that he'll be fine. It's just that you know, the kids that stuck there is gonna do the same thing. You know, then we got, you know, a bunch of little doughboys and shit running around, but that's a whole nother show. But but yeah. But yeah, man, this is some real good info, and but like I say, man, you know, I ain't gonna go this far without getting a solution to all this stuff. Now, one thing about it, you know, Nick is Nick and he's a star and all that. But if you want to send a message of safer practice sex, totally 100% pass legalized prostitution. That's Bill 1313. For those who don't know, check the t-shirt on the graphic. And that will help solve that, because most time if somebody just picking up something they see walking, you know, rarely they going into it to leave a baby. So that'll help ensure that you know, the population control. So that's one of the many assortments that 1313 can solve. It can solve any kind of relationship problem, because number one, if you're a hoe or a John, you're not gonna be in a relationship. So the people who ain't hoeing, ain't Johnning, will be match made in heaven. Literally, there'll probably be a nun and a priest, and everybody else out here fucking for money. But yeah.
Oh my goodness.
What do we get for $10?
All right, Eminem. I appreciate that, man. Oh, real quick, man. Tell everybody about your about the upcoming art show. It's gonna be big this year.
Oh yeah. My 20th show is coming up on December the 10th. Oh, there it is. Celebration of yours truly, a Sagittarius. So that's got a lot of depth to it. Oh yeah.
That explains a lot.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. So yeah, y'all need to come to the SIP. Check it out. You know what I'm saying? But if not, you know,
Let 'em know
just
where they can find it.
follow Q page. You're gonna find all the details on that. He got all my shit out there. So, you know, just follow Q page, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, newrenaissance.com, but follow Q page, it'll be up there, and visit Jackson and Jackson Free Press. I did it big, man. Shit everywhere. Clarion Ledger. What's that? Eventbrite? Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah.
Madison County Herald, all of it.
All right. I appreciate and ladies, if you haven't been to his art show before, you really need to check it out. And I'll make sure to send you a flyer so you all can come through. Cause it's like from 2:00 until when, Eminem?
They say 8, but I might extend it. I don't know how much that gonna cost, but
okay.
If you get there around 4 or 5, it'll be kicking hard. Then I like what it be when it's dark. Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll like that.
Yeah, you come through. He has artwork, and there's a story behind all the art. And so you get the story behind the art. Now, the story is usually hilarious in a lot of cases, but his inspiration, and he'll have music in the area. It's just a good time.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
good time.
It ain't your normal it ain't your normal cheese and hors d'oeuvres and just a little light wine and everybody's whispering. There ain't none of that shit. Nah. It's civilized, but it ain't like that.
Is it hard liquor?
Oh no, you got BYOB. They
That was my
But
next question.
oh
You
yeah,
got some E and J
BYOB.
branded there. You got some
Mhm.
E and J
A
branded.
That's
Canadian
some
Miss. I had
Hercules.
that Canadian Miss now.
There you
I
go.
had that
That's what's
behind
up.
I had that behind a suitcase. Don't take but a drop.
Mm-mm.
To do what exactly?
Yeah.
Now, I'll be sure to send you all
And then when all else
a
fails, go to
flyer.
Walgreens, get some Dr. Titians.
Oh Lord! And when is it,
Boy, you
Eminem?
trying to
Is
kill
it
folks up
December
in here.
10th?
Yeah, on the 10th. Uh-huh.
December 10th. Okay. All right, cool. But I'll make sure you get it. I've gone. This is year 20. I've gone to 19 of them. The only one
Yeah.
I missed was when I had knee surgery, and I couldn't make it to that one. But it's a good time. It really is.
That's awesome.
So, all right. So look, I appreciate all of you. I'm gonna get you all to hang backstage for a moment while I shut things down. But that's gonna do it, people. Again, go to talktoq.com. You can find me. I mean, you can basically Google hashtag talk to Q, and you can find me somewhere. I'm on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, just wherever. And we'll check you all soon. Enjoy your holiday. I don't eat too much turkey, or do I don't care. And we'll catch you next time. All right.